Okay, the stalemate in the ANC in Ekurhuleni is still unresolved. A court case is imminent against the Gauteng Executive Committee that upheld the preliminary results from the May conference. Mzwandile Masina was elected as chairperson at that gathering. On Monday, Masina held a briefing where he denounced any plan to challenge the election of these officials. Newzroom Afrika's Pelane Phakgadi is live for us in Springs on the East Rand. And Pelane, you've been speaking to some of the people who are very unhappy with the leadership in Ekurhuleni.
Definitely, Tembekile, and we do remember that in May, at the time when the conference was held, late May, it was very tightly contested at the time, and there was a losing group at the time looking at the preliminary results which were announced, and it took almost 3 months to resolve those particular preliminary results, and particularly to try and ensure that they keep the results as they were. And we do know that on Monday that the ANC here in Ekurhuleni came out guns blazing to say that as far as they are concerned, the Provincial Executive Committee has named them the elected officials, and therefore they should be remaining in the executive, and there will be no challenge whatsoever as far as they were concerned. But there was already a grouping that had been challenging the elections of the official office bearers, saying that there are 19 votes that need to be unsealed, and they believe that after they are unsealed, they could change the fate of the Ekurhuleni region as far as outcomes is concerned that elected Mzwandile Masina. Let me bring in Andy Lemgwebo. Of course, he was contesting the position of Deputy Regional Secretary, and you're still disgruntled. There's a lot of things that the PEC had said, and from the Dispute Resolution Committee to the Provincial Executive Committee, they made a decision that the outcome, preliminary as it was, they should stand, and you're not happy.
Yeah, there's a certain process on how the ANC operates in general, and all the processes of the ANC must never be short-circuited and be followed to the letter. We still have not received the official report from the Provincial Executive Committee itself to pronounce on the outcome that they would have concluded on. So there is no official report as we speak. Remember, there was also a report of Phakgadi that has made recommendations that there should be an investigation of other branches that would have been affected by the same process, but there is no report that has been brought forward regarding to that particular investigation. So all I'm saying is that the process of the ANC must be followed to the latter, and the recommendations that were made by the National Executive Committee were very clear that there must be a thorough process followed, so that everything that would have happened does not happen.
The National Executive Committee gave the matter to the Provincial Executive Committee to finalize. They finalized it, and they believe the results should stand as is.
Yeah, finalization does not mean you convene one meeting and you speak and you finalize. It means you must consider all the factors or the points that would have been brought forward by either the other group that we led in the regional conference. For an example, there was a report, I want to re-emphasize, the Phakgadi report that spoke about other branches that were not disqualified but had been found by that particular commission or that particular committee of Phakgadi. But there is no official report regarding that. I'm saying to you, the Provincial Executive Committee have met. Till today, there is no final report that has been brought back to conference, because the matter is a matter of a conference that did not conclude. In that particular regional conference, there was no declaration, official declaration, and by the IEC or AISA in terms of the results. There was no official declaration and conclusion of conference. Means the conference was never concluded. So what you do, you don't therefore go and meet in a PEC meeting and take a decision and go to a meeting of few people and say you reaffirm. You must reconvene that particular conference, call AISA, make a presentation of results, give us the figures, and so on and so forth. Tell us if you have unsealed the votes, and tell us where, because these votes have been kept for such a long time, where they were kept, have they not been tampered with, all those particular processes, because it's a very sensitive ANC process. Therefore, you must follow the processes to the letter.
I must ask you this before we conclude now. What now is your possible course of action? I see on Monday when the ANC in Ekurhuleni held a media briefing, you also held an event where hundreds of people came out there, and you were not demobilizing. As a matter of fact, you are saying that you are going to follow this matter to the latter. But now, what is the possible way forward?
The ANC always speak about a slogan that says "Amandla semasebeni." Even if we wanted to demobilize, but branches themselves, they had to pronounce themselves in that particular meeting, and delegates that were part of that conference, that they are taking the matter to the National Executive Committee for reconsideration. They are not happy with the Provincial Executive Committee decision, so they are going to appeal with the National Executive Committee. The second issue is that there will be a continuous effort to organize and strengthen the campaign, that there must be justice on the matter of Ekurhuleni.
Justice? Will you be going to court?
We are taking the matter for legal consideration to the court of law. If the National Executive Committee is not willing to listen to the branches of the ANC, if the National Executive Committee does not come down and intervene, including the PEC itself, if they don't come down and intervene and have a political solution on the matter, there is a high consideration for legal consideration on the matter.
Okay, thank you very much there. Of course, just giving us an indication that as far as their grouping is concerned, there is a high, of course, consideration of a legal action looming to ensure that they get their justice, as Andile was putting it. They still feel aggrieved, and that there could be possible different outcome once the court of law has ventilated on this matter.
Pelane Phakgadi in Springs, thank you.